Welcome back, everyone, to another Explainer. So today, we're diving into a project that absolutely flips how we think about home energy. If you've ever wanted to run those heavy appliances on solar, but you got that massive sticker shock from the battery costs, well, you're exactly in the right place. We're going to look at a really fascinating, structured setup straight from the experts over at InfoGuide NG. Okay, let's dive into this because there's this huge misconception out there. People think solar power systems absolutely require expensive battery storage to actually work. And honestly, that myth, it's kept so many people from taking the plunge. But today, we're looking directly at a real-world batteryless hybrid setup that proves otherwise. No way around it, it is totally possible. And frankly, it's a literal game changer for your monthly utility bills.
So the secret sauce making all this possible is something called on-grid mode. Basically, this is a configuration where your inverter harvests solar energy to power your home's loads directly, and then it uses the utility grid to supplement any power deficits. Think of the utility grid as your virtual battery. Say a heavy cloud passes over your house, right? The grid just automatically kicks in to fill the gap. It makes the whole concept of on-grid supplementation super easy to grasp. You're getting all those solar savings during the day entirely without that heavy battery price tag.
Here is our roadmap for today's build. We'll start with solar without the battery, then move into panel setup and wiring. After that, safety and distribution box, followed by inverter connection and grounding. And we'll wrap up with system startup and configuration. First up, Section 1, solar without the battery. I actually like to think of this build kind of like leveling up in a video game. It happens in 4 really distinct phases. First, you install the panels. That's capturing your raw power. Next, we build the protection box, basically equipping your shield to protect your home. Third, we connect the inverter, which is wiring the brain of the whole operation. And finally, we execute the startup, literally flipping the switch. Just 4 clear, totally achievable steps to energy independence.
Moving on to Section 2, panel setup and wiring.
Drawing straight from a successful real-world installation documented in our source material, we're looking at a 5-panel series connection here. Specifically, that is 1 585-watt bifacial panel and 4 550-watt panels. Now, to wire them in series, you just connect the positive end of one panel to the negative end of the next. Simple enough, right? But here is a crucial takeaway. Before making those final connections, you absolutely must verify the polarity with a tester. Reversing polarity is a super quick way to fry expensive gear, and yeah, nobody wants that. Oh, and for sure, make sure you ground each panel individually for safety. Now, when you're actually making those cable connections, you need to wait for a firm click. That satisfying snap, that is your literal guarantee of a waterproof seal. You want to be absolutely sure you know how to physically safeguard all that rooftop wiring from the rain and the elements. And that little click means you're fully protected.
Let's jump to Section 3, safety and distribution box.
And this brilliantly illustrates how to break the protection box down into 3 specific zones. On the DC or solar side, you're going to need a 25-amp DC breaker and a Type 2 DC surge protection device installed right on the load side of that breaker. Over on the AC grid side, you want a 40-amp AC breaker, an AC SPD, and an over-under voltage protector. And finally, on the load side, so that's the power actually interacting with your home, you want a 40-amp RCBO with 30 milliamps of sensitivity. Think of the RCBO as a really smart breaker. It instantly trips if it senses power leaking, which is exactly what protects people from getting a shock. Stick to this layout, and your system is completely fortified.
Okay, guys, here is a really vital safety tip. Always use ferrules. Those are those little metal tubes you crimp onto wire ends. You have to use them on your stranded wires. Loose wire strands hanging out in a breaker box are a massive fire hazard. When you crimp ferrules onto the wire ends, you're guaranteeing a highly secure, super tight connection inside your distribution box, and you effectively eliminate that fire risk altogether.
Which brings us to Section 4, inverter connection and grounding.
The inverter has very specific terminals, and wiring them correctly is absolutely key. You want to wire your home loads to the load side or the backup load terminal of the inverter. Why? Because doing this basically future-proofs your entire setup. If you ever decide to add a battery down the road, your house is already wired for backup power. You're also going to need to install a current transformer or CT sensor on the grid side. That's typically terminals 5 and 6. This little sensor is incredibly important because it manages the zero export function. Finally, just route all your ground wires, that's from the inverter body, the surge protectors, and your solar panels, route all of those to one central bus bar, and then connect that bar straight to a dedicated heavy-duty grounding rod.
Finally, we've reached Section 5, System Startup and Configuration.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the specific numbers you want to look for on your tester before you ever physically flip those breakers on. On the AC grid side, you should be seeing approximately 230 volts. Over on the DC photovoltaic side, the power coming down from your roof, you should see roughly 217 volts for this specific 5-panel series setup. Verifying these exact numbers means your wiring is solid, your polarity is correct, and you are officially ready for power. Okay, so once the breakers are on, you're going to do a really quick digital configuration. Just access your inverter's menu and immediately set the battery type to No Battery. Next, check the display to verify that your solar harvest is actually covering your home load. Basically, you want to see it successfully run something heavy, like your air conditioner. And finally, confirm that your zero export function is actively working. This is what ensures all that hard-earned solar energy goes exactly where you want it, to your own appliances, and doesn't just accidentally feed back out to the utility grid for free.
So the crucial point is 10 minutes. I really want to leave you with that specific number, because a hybrid inverter can take up to 10 full minutes to synchronize with the utility grid during startup. I'm telling you this right now to save the eager DIYer from absolute panic. When you flip that final switch, if the power isn't perfectly instantaneous, don't sweat it. Your system isn't broken, it's just safely verifying the grid connection before it starts outputting power. Just be patient. Which leaves us with this final, beautiful thought. Imagine running your air conditioner all day long on pure sunshine. We've just walked through exactly how achievable this is through structured, careful planning and just getting the right components. So I've got to ask, are you ready to take control of your energy without the massive cost of batteries? I highly encourage you to dig deeper into your own solar journey and use the concepts from this explainer to empower your next big project. Thank you so much for joining me today, and as always, keep learning.